Both the Vatican and the Catholic Diocese of Hong Kong are the targets of hackers allegedly backed by the Chinese Communist government. The Chinese Foreign Ministry calls the report, quote, groundless speculation.
一贯坚决反对并打击
Chinese officials deny the allegations. A report from the digital monitoring group Recorded Future claims that since May, hackers have spread malware and accessed church offices in Hong Kong, as well as servers at the Vatican. In just over a month, the Holy See and China are scheduled to hold talks to negotiate how the church will cooperate with the Chinese Communist regime. Joining me now with more on this story is Ed Condon, D.C. Bureau Chief for Catholic News Agency and a canon lawyer. Ed, thanks for joining us. Great to see you.
Always a pleasure.
And I know that you've been following this story very closely. What do we know exactly about the information that the hackers were hoping to get, and were they successful?
Well, we don't know exactly how successful they have been, but we do know certainly some of the things they're looking to get access to. I mean, it's not a coincidence that the Diocese of Hong Kong and various Catholic groups on Hong Kong, like the Hong Kong Study Mission, as well as the Holy See Secretariat of State and other agencies within the Vatican, are being targeted at this time. There's a wealth of sensitive information, particularly about how the Diocese of Hong Kong relates to the Holy See and the Vatican, that's very much become a hot topic right now. There's a new national security law that's just been imposed on Hong Kong by the mainland. And one of the chief concerns that Catholics have raised in the diocese is that the relationship between the diocese and the Vatican will be treated as foreign collusion under this national security measure. And we know very much that the Chinese government, the Chinese Communist Party, is desperately interested in monitoring the communications between bishops in China and Rome.
Ed, do we know how they did it, how they were able to hack into the systems?
Well, there have been a couple of different ways that were outlined in the report, but most of them come around what I think we're calling spear phishing exercises, which is emails or documents are sent to people within these organizations. They're encouraged to sort of click the link or open the document, which then imports malware onto the system and basically lets the spy bug loose in the Vatican server. Now, in some cases, these have been fairly sophisticated-looking documents that they've used. I think in one case there was a letter expressing condolences from senior figures at the Secretariat of State, including Cardinal Parolin and Archbishop Edgar Piñapara, the Sustituto there, to a Monsignor in Hong Kong on the occasion of the death of another priest. It's not clear whether that was in fact an authentic document that these hackers got a hold of and then, if you like, corrupted electronically to import the malware software into it or not. But these are the kind of sophisticated techniques that are being used.
And we don't have much time, but I'm curious, has the Vatican responded to the report?
No, not yet. We've asked the Secretary of State to comment. We've asked Cardinal Parolin for his comments. There hasn't been any response yet, but this is obviously an extremely sensitive issue at an extremely sensitive time. The Vatican-China provisional deal expires in September, and negotiations are already underway for how that deal is going to be carried forward.
Well, Ed, thanks so much for your time. We really appreciate it. Edward Condon, D.C. Bureau Chief for Catholic News Agency. Thanks again, Ed.
Always a pleasure.